the Burrow has got to be one of my favourite locations in the Wizarding world. It's just got such a homely manner to it. It's where the Weasleys live, which is Harry's favourite family, and I just love how it's portrayed in the films. Its crooked look, the way it's supported by magic, and the way it just looks absolutely awesome. And of course, it is one of Harry's favourite locations aside from Hogwarts. And of course, Harry spends, well, quite a lot of his summers there actually, aside from Privet Drive. And I felt like taking a bit of a break from Hogwarts for a day and just trying building it. And so I went on the internet, found a few blueprints and some blurry screenshots from the films, and so it will download, it will be available in the description for my Patreon members. And let's say 200 likes and I will provide a download for free for absolutely everyone else, because my Michael Hogwarts did hit its 150 like target in about 10 hours, which was absolutely insane. And so let's go ahead and start building. And so, of course, the first thing we needed to build was the base of the burrow in that small kind of round section, which I think is where all the living areas are. And then, once that was done, we could start on the roof, which has a sort of sloping up design until it does lead to a chimney, which then leads on to the upper floors. And I did find the colours a bit hard to get right since I was going off a bit of a blurry screenshot from the films, but I think I did a reasonably good job with the colour scheme. However, of course, I think ideally you would use some custom texture packs, but I tried to get it as vanilla as possible within the bounds of my texture pack. But yeah, I think every single block I used on the exterior was completely vanilla, maybe except for some trapdoors which I used mainly for the chimney, and then some of the support beams at the bottom. And what I love about the windows on the burrow is how there's no pattern to them. They're completely random and unevenly spaced, and I personally think it looks absolutely amazing. With them all at different heights, it just adds to that feel of being imperfect and being rugged, and I absolutely love it. And then, with the main burrow build done, it was time to add the landscape. And so I used some very simple World Edit cylinder brushes, which I find very nice for adding a sort of smooth rolling landscape rather than some dramatic cliffs. And so I marked out the lake, and then I built around it with sand, of course, since sand is a beautiful sculpting tool, and then I changed that all to grass and then began filling up the lake. But of course the landscape looked very boring without any vegetation, and so I began to add some grass around the place with some waterlit brushes. And then of course I filled up the lake with some seaweed, and I do think it looked absolutely awesome. And then I used some spherical brushes for the front driveway, which then of course led to this sort of garage area over to the side, which I built out of some granite and then some spruce planks to sort of add a bit of a rusted feel. And do let me know down in the comment section if you do want a tutorial on how to build this. I would be really glad to do it. I think it'd be a really fun video. And so let me know down in the comment section if you do want a tutorial on this burrow. And then some more dramatic vegetation with sort of bushes going around the place, which I think really added to the touch of it. And then I decided to extend the landscape by a tiny bit because I felt like it needs to be a bit bigger just to show off the build, and so I decided to go with a sort of rectangular area. But I think on my main map I will of course implement it into the main landscape, maybe using some external programs such as World Painter to get it all to fit together. And then some more vegetation. And then of course we need to add in the Weasley's Fort Anglia, which I did add using some very simple card bowling techniques. And so that is now the burrow, now complete. Time for some interior. And there we have it. That is the completed burrow, and I'm actually really happy with how this one turned out. Obviously, I went off the Chamber of Secrets design, so we have the lake around here, and of course a driveway going up. And yeah, it looks absolutely awesome. It does look quite crooked, and it does look quite patchy. Obviously, the block palette isn't perfect. I had a bit of a blurry picture to go off, but I must say, I am really happy with how it turned out. And obviously we've got the Ford Anglia here, which, I mean, technically, it shouldn't be here. It should be in the Forbidden Forest, but let's ignore that. We got isolated garage over here, and around the edge I did add a pigsty and a chicken coop. And I just love how it looks from over here with the reflection in the water. It just looks absolutely stunning. And so let's go ahead and check out the inside. And so of course I am using a custom resource pack, which is the same resource pack as my Hogwarts world, since of course this burrow is going to be in the same world as my Hogwarts map once the map is complete. And so let's go ahead and take a look inside. And so obviously the interior is quite cramped, but I did manage to fit in quite a few of the details. And so here we do have the main table where the Weasley sit at, and of course this is where Arthur Weasley asked Harry what is the function of a rubber duck. And of course here we have the fireplace, which is where they take the flue powder to Diagon Alley, not to be confused with Diagon Alley. And we have a bit of a lounge area right here with some couches and a nice lampshade over here, and then basically the same thing on this side, some sofas and a bookshelf and a nice stool. And then here we do have the rickety staircase, which you do see Ginny run down in the Chamber of Secrets. And so if we head up the staircase, we will see there's a bedroom on the left, a bedroom on the right, and of course we can head up the rickety staircase. And right here we do have, I'm going to call this Percy's bedroom, since in the books we do say it faces the front where Bill and Charlie are having a fight with some tables, and so I felt like having it here. And of course here we do have a Cauldron Bottom report and Percy's head boy badge, just a bit of an Easter egg. And then if we do keep heading up, all the way to up here, and this one here specifically is Fred and George's room, and so of course we have a puking pasty and a Tong Tuffy in the chest. And then I did have a bit of trouble fitting everything in since it is just a tiny space. But if we do head up to up here, we do have Ron's bedroom, which of course is plastered around with orange to represent his favourite Quidditch team. And here we have, it's meant to be a fish tank, it's a bit empty. And here we have a cage, which is either for pigwidgeon or for scavers. And if we do go up here, we do have the ghoul in the attic. And so that is the very basic interior. Preferably I might have gone with a bit of a larger scale, just to fit everything nicely in, but I am pretty happy with how it all fits together. Of course, in an ideal world, there would be a nice staircase for Ron's bedroom, but I think it does work, and I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. And so that is the burrow, and of course I'm really looking forward to doing some more Harry Potter locations in later videos. Leave down your ideas in the comment section for what area you want me to do next. And of course, the world download is available on my Patreon page for my Patreon members, and of course we'll do a free download if we do hit 200 likes. And so that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will almost definitely be a Hogwarts tutorial episode. And so I will see you guys all then.